or if you have a question for anyone specific, please, now would be the time too. And I will get into this question here. I'm not sure who wrote this in, but it says, what would you like to be doing in 5 years? And what do you feel that you'll be doing in 5 years? I will start with Kara.
That's a good question. I like that second part. What do you feel you'll be doing? Yeah, I mean, the next thing in my business that I'm really looking into is actually doing more retreats. And this is something probably at the end. When did I do my last? It's not even a retreat I hosted. I attended a retreat in April, and what had happened is like primarily my business is so much online, and I love that, and I'm a more introverted person, but even for me, I was starting to get lonely, and I actually was even doing my workouts at home as well. So I pretty much I didn't have to leave the house if I didn't want to. I found I was getting kind of isolated, and I decided I'm going to make some changes and set the intention that I was going to manifest a retreat that felt really aligned with what I desired at that time. The perfect one did come along, not right away, but probably within a month of kind of making that decision, something came up. I decided to do that. I did get a gym membership, so I was leaving the home and just kind of made some changes where I was going to be connecting more in person. So yeah, I think that's something that I want to explore more, is eventually hosting my own retreats and being able to meet in person all the incredible women that I connect with online. So I really see myself doing more of that. Another thing that I'm feeling called to do a little more of is more digital courses as well. So it's kind of funny because they're on the opposite end of the spectrum in a way. But one of the other things I love to do is teach. I just feel at heart I'm kind of a teacher. I love to just share information. I feel when we learn, we're meant to share, and I feel doing more digital programming is a good option in just getting all these amazing messages that I want to share with the world, getting those out there in different formats and with different price points that are accessible for everyone, just depending where they are on their journey and what they're looking for. So I do foresee more of that much sooner than 5 years, probably for both of those things. But yeah, I guess those are kind of the big ones that I'm seeing right now in terms of my business. I mean, for me as well, a top value has always been freedom. I think that's the case probably for many entrepreneurs. We really value that sense of freedom. So I'm always kind of defining what that looks like in my life and what that means for me. And basically it is just having the freedom to do what I love. And I guess kind of going back to what I said earlier too, continuing to work with my soulmate clients and just feeling that connection, because that is a joyful experience when you're able to really feel that connection with somebody that is on a similar journey, that you're able to support on their journey, and just, yeah, makes it fun.
Cool. I love it. Cannot wait to see all your stuff come out. Dana, what are you going to be doing, and what do you feel you're going to be doing?
One thing that I fell in love with was the idea, and it was when I was in Sri Lanka, it was the idea of bringing like-minded women with me to different magical spiritual places around the world, to just connect in to that sacred space and to feel the magic. I wrote down, find the magic, create the magic, be the magic. Nice. So just literally dig into what that whole sacred space is, with ritual and with food and with history and with the heartbeat of the earth, and opening up to guides and just beings and amazingness that is sacred to that space. I just think that there's such a huge magical element that is in many sacred spaces around the world that a lot of us could uncover and be involved with and understand and plug into, and just, I don't know, kind of just, I almost feel it like my heart exploding. So I know that that's something that I would really, really, really love to do. And I see that happening because that really, really lights me up. And coaching will always be my jam for sure. Working more like in space with larger groups of women to do healing work in kind of lump sums of time. And so instead of like a retreat, it's just kind of like a mini, I don't even know what the word is.
Experience.
Yeah, experience. And I'm working on that. I'm actually going to be doing that here next month.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And then continue with all of my healing modalities. The next step for me is really getting into shaman work. I know that's another part of my destiny, and also a huge part of uncovering my past and my previous lives, and just the magic witchery that I have all in my soul, right? From the very beginning. And Akashic Records. I need to learn this. I just have so many great things that I just need to keep digging into and learning more. It just like makes me so excited. It's like all these tools.
Dana's exploding over there.
I am exploding because there's so much cool shit that's out there. There's so much cool shit, and we just plug ourselves in. It's just so exciting. It's like your spirit almost like vibrates and flies. I don't know. So weird. I know I'm so weird, but just so many fun things to dive into. So yes.
Well, I'm excited to see all of your things. What will happen, what will evolve. What do you think, Anna?
It's a really great question. And to be honest, I have no idea what's really going to happen, but I'm getting a few intuitive feelings. Like, I feel that it's going to be different from what I'm doing now. One thing I see myself doing is teaching more, actually public speaking in front of a larger audience in person. I guess online courses, yeah, that's something I'm seeing as well. But one vision that I keep getting is actually having my own publishing business, something like Hay House, but probably something a little different. The New Earth connection is really important to me, like creating something new and different. And also creating my own healing modality. That's something that I could really see myself doing at some point. And I feel, yeah, I might be heading in a bit of a more spiritual direction. In the past few years, I've really been working on building my foundation, and that's what I'm really focusing on right now as well. So it's all much more grounded and creative. But there's definitely this part of me that really loves the spiritual aspect of my work, and I love channeling in my own very specific way, and the magical realms and everything. That really lights me up. So I think eventually I'm going to be doing more with that again. And I don't really know how it's going to happen. I don't feel I need to know right now. I just need to do one thing at a time. And but yeah, I really love this question. It's really inspiring and opening up some, possibilities.
I like it when people say, I might not be doing what I'm doing now. Because, like, that's the truth, right? Like, we can't just say that we're going to be doing exactly the same kind of thing in 5 years. Like, again, stepping stones, right? This could just be a stepping stone, exactly where you are right now, right? To something bigger, better, more exciting, more inspiring. Lisa, what are you going to be doing in 5 years, and what do you feel that you will be doing? Oh, you're muted.
Okay. So, that is a great question, and I've kind of been thinking about it as I'm listening to all the other ladies. And for me, what's been coming up a lot lately is this idea of probably learning a new modality. And if, for the most part, I do feel like I know what that modality will be, because it's helped me tremendously, and it's clinical hypnosis. And so I've thought a lot about getting the training, that would accompany that, and what does that look like for me long term. I don't know, will I have a physical office as well as offered online? I don't know yet. A lot can happen in 5 years. A lot can happen in 5 minutes. So, what was the first part of the question? I know.
Like, what do you think? What do you want to be doing in 5 years versus what do you really feel you'll be doing?
Got it. All right. Yeah. So like ideally, like I was saying before, I really want all of my back-end systems just on automate so I can do whatever it is I'm doing 100% of the time, because that's what I love. That's ideal for me, right? That's running in whatever business I have. I want to be with people. Because I also need to feel very connected. And what better way than just to really be connected to another human soul that you're helping to, help them see their own growth, their own potential, their own, take back their own power. So yeah, definitely that's like ideal, right? I do see myself doing public speaking and on a stage somewhere. That's also a dream I have, because I do feel like more people could benefit from hearing my message. And again, how am I going to do that? I don't know. There's so many different routes, At one point I thought about, it would be really cool to do a TED Talk, right? It would be really cool to be there, to stand on the little dot and do it. And so I started talking to someone who is a coach who did that, right? And so all these kind of possibilities are floating around in my head. But what do I desire most really is to be happy and healthy and financially secure and doing work that I love. I refuse to go back and ever do something right now just for the sake of money. And I know that contradicts a little bit about what I said earlier, but I'm also in a different space and place now where I know that I'm capable of creating my own wealth. So as long as I can stay in alignment with that and do that, I have no plans to go back and be under anybody else's sort of, umbrella. I'm not as scheduled as I am. I, like Dana was saying, like, I'm a control freak, and I totally put that out there, but that's probably why, like, I don't do well when I'm on other people's agendas. Right? Like they're telling me I have to eat at like 11 a.m. and I'm like, I don't want to eat my lunch at 11 a.m. Like I don't care if that's what time the students go to eat lunch. I don't want to eat at 11. Like it's always been me like rebelling against like that mainstream, like, well, this is our schedule and you go on break at 2:00 and you can use the bathroom or you can make a phone call. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, what if I have to pee at 1:55? Like it's all those little things that I know I don't ever want to go back to again.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever.
Yeah, knowing the things that you don't want to do. I think that's a big thing too, right? It's like you don't have to have all the answers or know exactly where you're going. Just know what you're not into and what doesn't align with you. I don't know the answer for me. Like if I think about like in the next 5 years, all I know is that, there's a part of me that definitely will not ever give up the work that I've put into the online scene, because it's been a lot of work, right? And if I even if I did something kind of different and gave it up, like that would just be, I'm not really into it. I want to keep it going. But I do have this really huge like physical essence to me. Like I'm a very physical person. And so I think that I'm definitely going to move more into like kind of like different products and stuff like that. Like, I've got 2 decks of Oracle cards on the go at the moment. I have 3 books that are like basically almost done that I haven't got out yet. I'd like to get more into the experiences, more into kind of maybe like retreats. I feel like that word's like overused, like whatever it is for you, right? That kind of experience that you're going to be providing for people. But it's really about like bringing back to basics, like those physical things. And physical things have always been my thing. And I don't mean that to sound materialistic, but like I just love like physical things. And I'm always thinking in my mind, like, and this is not something I would do full time, but there's a part of me that really wants to open up like a physical, like little like furniture and also awesome things shop. That I don't want to be there every day working, but I really want to have that, and coffee shop is the same thing. And so it's kind of like when you have all these things happening, you're like, what does this mean? Like, you know, because that would mean I have to be there all the time and I don't really want to. And so you're having like all of these like things that you want to have happen, and they're not necessarily like computing like with your time. And so you're like, right, what does this mean? But yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be like kind of like moving into more of like the physical, tangible things. Not saying that I won't be doing mentorship, but if I can kind of like the essence of like me in 5 years, I would love it to be more automated, like Lisa said, but also kind of more globally, like in everybody's home. If however that can be, that's just kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. So whatever that looks like, I don't know. I'll have to sit down and really, really think about that. But again, we don't have to have all the answers. Few answers might come in a year, 2 years, whatever, we'll know. But yeah, it's just interesting hearing everybody's different perspective, right? Because it's like everything's very similar, but yeah, very different, and we'll end up very, very different. So those of you that are still listening, thank you so much. We've got about 10 or so minutes left. Please ask any questions that you would like, or you know, reach out here, put your hand up if you'd like to chat. And we can go from there. I guess I will also just kind of say to any of the ladies right now, is there anything that you feel is kind of like a pivotal moment happening for you, or an amazing aha moment that has just happened for you that you would love to kind of like bring to the table for the listeners? Can anybody think of anything kind of like that that's happened lately for them where it's like, oh, that was like a really great learning experience or something like that? Everybody's like thinking like, I would probably say that something that has been kind of coming across my table lately is, I'm going to go back to this again, but is people not really having in alignment their actions versus their desires. And I'm feeling like that is definitely something that a lot of people are really navigating. I mean, we're doing that all the time, but that's something that's been happening this week a lot with a lot of people that I've talked to. Does anybody else have kind of client situations or anything else like that where that is kind of like solidified, where they're kind of seeing completely different actions versus desires and kind of having that trouble like aligning with that? I see. Okay, Lisa?
Yeah, I had 2 different clients in the past 2 weeks that I created like special programs specifically for them. I was trying to work with them and in their budget. And for me, it was sort of a wake-up call, because in that time, so one of the individuals I, you know, the last conversation we had before she signed the contract and made the first payment was, this is amazing. I am so excited to be working with you. You have no idea. You know, I've wanted to work with you forever. So it felt like really amazing, right? And it was like all this rah, rah, rah. And so we spent like 2 or 3 sessions together, and she was so sick and tired of being at work and just wanted to do her own thing. And the next thing I know is she writes an email to me and she says, well, I'm sorry. I just, right now, I just had another opportunity come up at work. And now, mind you, work, she hated work. It was like a 24-hour, like, you know, and I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, okay, but you hated your job. Like, you were ready to quit yesterday. And she's like, well, yeah, but that was before I talked to the manager. And now I kind of foresee myself going in this direction now. And I'm like, I know, but we still have a 3-month contract. You can't just say like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that now, right? I mean, you can, right? But it's not really cool to do that. And so for me, I was like, well, what did I do here that attracted that, right? Was it something I did, or was it just something she did? I don't know. And I even had a conversation with her after, and she was like, to me, it sounded like she was really more afraid to do anything on her own. And so I felt very empathic for her, and I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with her in terms of the agreement, right? Because I did spend 3 hours with her, and it was an extended payment plan, but it was interesting for me. And I know, we all learn, don't take anything personally, or at least according to the 4 agreements, don't take anything personally. And yet here's this person who is still like singing my praises, online and saying all these lovely things about me and nice things about me. But yet it's like, okay, but you just literally ran away from me. And so I've been trying to resolve that inside my own. Yeah, thank you, Genevieve. That's a good point.
I think such a big thing too is that, a lot of the time, everybody's different, right? Like, I've been one of those people before that's like, wake up in the morning, I'm like, I need a mentor. I'm going to find one today. And I'll just go like, whatever that, not even really like intuitively checking with yourself who you're working with. You just need it right now. And then there are the other people that overanalyze everything, right? And the thing is, like, everybody is in their own journey, right? Mm-hmm. And some people, it takes so much more courage than we could ever imagine for them to even commit to something. So again, yeah, it's like nothing to do with you. It's really like just, and some people, again, the success blocks, self-sabotage, what have you. Like, it doesn't matter. Maybe for that moment, her mind and ego tricked her that she liked work again. And in another week, she'll hate it. She'll be on the phone with you again. So it's one of those interesting things, but again, the contradictions in our life, right? Like, she hates work. She wants to be better. She wants to expand and build her business or whatever you're going to be doing with her. And then she's making these actions that are so far the other way, right? So
right.
It's yeah. Well, everybody watch out for that. Watch out for your actions. Like, make sure you are watching your contradictions and that kind of thing. I just want to say to all of the speakers, thank you so much for being here for 2.5 hours with us. It kind of goes by quickly though, doesn't it? Like, it doesn't really feel like we've been on for 2.5 hours. Everybody will be getting the replay that signed up for this email, and there was several hundred actually that signed up for the email. So it's always tricky when we do an event like this during the day, because a lot of people are still doing the 9 to 5, right? Or maybe had something pop up. It is a Friday, but anyway, they'll be getting this conversation, and I'm sure they'll be taking notes and loving what all of you have said. And it's so interesting how we all have, no matter what the question is, a similar answer and a similar response, yet it's totally different, which is really, really cool. And, if you'd like to get a hold of Dana or Anna or Lisa or Kara, please do so. You can obviously find them online. And I was thinking, like, just before I hopped on this call, I was like, it'd be cool if I could give away a gift or something. I was like, what, like, I was like, oh, last minute, I was like, what will I do? But so for any of you that follow me, you will know that the month of September, I hosted a workshop called Create Your Signature Course in 1 month. And it went for all of September. And so the ladies in that program or that workshop, it was a casual workshop, they created their signature course in 1 month. So if you are finding that you are a procrastinator or can't really get all the bits and pieces together for you to finish something like that, what I have done for this call right now is that I'm going to be offering the Create Your Signature Course in 1 month workshop as a DIY program. I'm going to put that out there today, so watch out for that. And it's not $299, it's actually $179, and you're also going to get all of the weekly calls, recorded calls that we had. So essentially it's like you're taking it with us, but it's just in DIY version. And so yeah, I hope that might help you. If that is something you're interested in, I hope that will help you get moving with getting your message and your magic out into the world. So I'll be sending that out to email. So that's my thing for today. But is there anything anyone else would like to share before we go? We've got a couple minutes. Any of the speakers?
I'll share some.
Sure.
So one beautiful thing that I've been finding with the fall is there's just so much rapid, crazy change going on, and the energy just seems like it's on fire. It's so much shit is shifting, and I've noticed this happening with a lot of my girlfriends and a lot of friends just in the creative space. And the one thing that I've been doing is just sitting back and just breathing and watching everything unfold. And so many things are moving forward quickly and fastly, and that's the same word. And it's so exciting. And I can just feel this crazy shift of energy, just almost like rain. And all I can do is sit back and just smile and watching all of these kind of dots get connected. It's very, Kara, I don't know what's going on with the universe, but some crazy shit on, because it's like a wave. Right?
Oh, it's a huge time, a transition. I think like it's just been so much happening this year. Like we had the 3 eclipses in a row. Usually we have 2, right? When there's eclipses, they always come in 2s. This year we had 3, and that's like signifies change, right? And then we had that huge like retrograde season, so many planets retrograding. So I think what it's like a lot of inner work's been going on, like a lot of deep healing and shadow work. And now we're at a time where we're like, okay, like I feel like I'm being reborn. I'm starting to get a little more clarity. So we're feeling the momentum pick up, and it's an exciting time. It is, and it's just the beginning. Like when we go into next year in 2020, there's some pretty incredible shifts that are going to be happening. So I think, yeah, people have felt like the first part of this year has been like the inner work and massive transformation. That's been a theme for the collective, and I think like always it serves a purpose, right? In a place like we got to do that inner work, and it's from there that we then like get clarity on our path and our next steps. So you're so right, Dana. It's been an incredible time. I'm feeling that too. Major transformation. Yeah.
So, Kara, I was just thinking as you were talking, like, I have found for me that 2017 was, like, super creative and productive, and I was, like, had a lot of energy. As soon as 2018 happened for me, I've been, like, now, mind you, I have got stuff done, but the things that I really want to get done, I've been, like, like, I cannot do it. Like, even if I have every intention to do all these things, I cannot get them done. And I'm hoping that as soon as the year turns to 2019, I'm going to be like, get them all done. So I don't know.
For sure. Well, and it's always an individual thing too, right? Like we see themes with the collective, but then what's happening in the cosmos, like with the transits, it affects us all in a different way, just depending on where it's happening in our birth chart. And then we also have our solar return charts, right? And sometimes it's just like a year for us that's meant to be more internal, right? And then sometimes it's like a really action year. So in addition to like the collective shifts, there's always kind of our own personal journey and cycles that we're going through as well. So it's a journey, right, of like learning to honor that, and yeah, that we're where we're meant to be, and we know it's always going to be change. That's a part of life, so it will shift.
Well, I hope this call was beneficial for all of you watching and all of you that will be watching the replay. Again, thank you so much to our speakers. Thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions at all, obviously, please reach out to me through email and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm so happy that we all connected today. And again, I thank you speakers so much for taking the time to, share your wisdom, trials, tribulations, stories, all that kind of stuff, because it means so much to me as well as so many others. So anyway, thank you again. And I guess we'll all say goodbye. We're right on time. But yeah, I hope to all see you ladies again very, very soon, connect with you, collaborate with you, and we'll see what the fall brings, fall/winter, if that's where you are.
Thanks, Sarah.
Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.